Today we are looking at the last dot point on the Core 2 syllabus, which is the assessment of skill and performance, which falls under focus question 4, and we are looking at dash 2, which is objective and subjective performance measures. Now, although you already have notes on this dash point, I'm going to go through what this is and give you sporting examples through one document. What we need to understand about objective and subjective performance measures are as they are used to clarify various different types of performance measures. So when we watch a performance, such as a 100-meter sprint or a dance, the criteria and how they are actually scored and measured is completely different. If we refer to this document, we'll talk about objective first. Now, objective is independent of the observer. This can be used in stopwatches, measuring tapes, be based on time, or an established criteria. If we take the 100-meter sprint, for example, we know who the winner is by the person that crosses the finish line the quickest, and that is done in time, in seconds. It is very objective because the observer actually has no control who wins, and there is a defined winner by the person that crosses the line the quickest. Sporting examples that you can use for objective are the 100-meter sprint and the high jump, which is measured on how high someone can cross the bar in meters and in centimeters. Now, if we take subjective, this is completely different. It is dependent on the observer and it's based on opinions, feelings, or impressions. Sports such as dance and gymnastics will fall under this. Now, if a professional dancer went to observe a performance, they would know exactly what to look out for in terms of whether a performance was good or not, and they would usually base that on timing, the choreography, the uniforms or outfits that the dancer is wearing, and how they might use the space. Someone that's never watched a dance before might just base the performance on what it looks like and the kind of music that their dancers might be using, and it is based on their feelings. One person might love a dance, say a contemporary dance, and one person will not like that type of dance at all. When we look at subjective sports such as dance and gymnastics, although they do follow a criteria, most of the time if you watch programs on television and they're based on dancing, it will be based on how that judge feels about the performance. And yes, they're usually obviously professional, and they might have been dancing for a number of years and know what to look out for if we take the program So You Think You Can Dance. But they also base their judgment on how they feel about that dance and how it made them feel. So subjective is dependent on the observer, and objective is independent of the observer and is only based on things that can be measured, such as time or distance. Now, some sports are solely one or the other. For instance, I gave you the high jump example earlier. High jump's based on the measurement, but however you define that performance and argue that one person might be better than the other, it is the person that can, or the athlete that can clear the bar and not knock it over, and is measured in meters and centimeters. Some sports, such as soccer, can be objective and subjective because in soccer there is a clear winner or loser. Whoever scores the most goals is the winner. And they can also now be tracked on the distance that they ran, such as 12K throughout the game, and they can be measured on how many shots that they got on target and how many shots they missed. But also it can be subjective because the coach is watching those performers and the crowd will see that a movement is very fluid and looks good, and therefore it can also be subjective as well as objective, having a clear winner and loser.